evening. Thank you for joining me here tonight. I just finished my show in the Psychic Flow on Goldilocks Productions on Rumble. And I had mentioned I had investigated a or instituted a conversation. Is that the word I want to use? Maybe instigated. A conversation with the Idaho 4. I'm sorry to refer to them that way, but in particular, Kaylee, who then referred me to Ethan. So the reason I'm doing this is because I happened to see a couple of other readings, briefly psychic readings, and I felt they were really, really off. And so I just, I'm not interested in hearing their theories of what happened. We know what happened. So I just wanted to reach out to get Kaylee's take on it. And she did speak to me for a few minutes from the spirit world. But she then referred me to Ethan for the particulars. I think it's too painful for her, perhaps. So let me just go over what, let me see if I can get her in again. Let me do that. So I reached out to her, and I'm very grateful that she wanted to communicate. She, in the spirit world, is as beautiful as she always was here on Earth. I think that was the most disheartening part for her, that she was so battered and unrecognizable. I think that really hurts her. She's a beautiful gal, and she took, and to lose her, she didn't lose her friend Maddie. Maddie is there with her, but I think it was very disheartening for Kaylee and to have lost her family. So I think she's very overwhelmed with that. But in particular, having her face damaged in that way felt very hateful to her, and she would never do anything like that to anyone else. So she's confused as to why this happened. So she's passing me over to Ethan. So let's see what he has to say. He had said to me, he too was very confused when this happened, totally out of it. He was asleep when this started to happen. He heard some rumblings. I think that was Xana fighting with BK. He says Ethan is saying he's such a coward. That attacker was such a coward. He says it's very difficult for Kaylee to speak, and that she would never say some of the things that have been said about her. He is that people have remarked that she has said she would not do that. She's totally taken by shock by the experience, and I think it was very hurtful to her that her face was so damaged, and very upsetting for her that her family would have to know that. So Ethan is saying this guy is a coward. He had the one up on me for sure. I would have fought to the death. He tried, but he was too injured. He is saying instead of staying in that vein of the damage that was done, all four of them, Ethan is saying this gentleman, if you want to call him this coward, he said did stalk these girls. So I don't know what the police are talking about, but there was even statements made by others in the four college students circle that said both Maddie and Kaylee worked at a vegan restaurant that that BK frequented. So I think he tried to pick them up and they blew him off. And I think that was probably, this is very symbolic of his hatred for women who are not interested in him because he's a creep. And I think he took all his fever out on Kaylee and Maddie. I don't think he realized, Ethan's saying to me, I don't think he realized that Maddie was in the bed with her, with Kaylee. I think he was just looking for Kaylee, and that he had absolutely no idea that Xana and Ethan were there. But Xana saw him. And he says, I don't. So he followed her and attacked her. Also, he is saying he's not blaming anyone except BK, because my personal feeling is that a couple of the two surviving roommates were just like ding dongs. I think one of them, for sure, my personal opinion is one of them has severe emotional or mental issues. Maybe they both do. I don't know. But anyway. So Ethan is saying lots of love to his family. And he says, I'm very glad that they were not there for the sentencing because there is no point. And that gets me back to his theory, the message that he really wanted to deliver. And I think it's coming from Kaylee and Ethan, but she is allowing Ethan to deliver this message. It's too hard for her, I think. That some people think that BK should have gotten the death penalty. He says, I don't know what to say about that. He will never set foot in Idaho again, or anyone, he will not be on the streets. He will never be free. He says there isn't, he says it's not up to us. It is not up to us, the four, of what should be done. We put that in the hands of God. They are adjusting. They're still adjusting. Now, this has been 2 years. They're still adjusting, 2.5 years, to the spirit world. It's hard, he said, because we really want to be there with our families. But they do pray for their families. They want to. Ethan has said it's astonishing world over here. I still wish I was with you, but I am content, and by the grace of God, I am okay. And Kaylee too. She's very tearful, but she said we are fine. He says Xana and Maddie will speak for themselves, but to let you know that they're all here. So I just wanted to do this quick video to clear up a couple of things. It is the belief of the Idaho 4 that he was alone, that he had stalked two of the girls, if not all. He had very well planned this out. He never thought he would get caught. Is a vindictiveness within him for, I think, rejection of him. So that's about all I have, except to let you know there were no drugs involved. These are straight A college students, so, belonging to sororities, very well liked, very popular, very friendly. And Ethan says that was the downfall, is too open. And he said, I wasn't supposed to be there. And he said, but I'm glad that I was. It was me instead of some of the others. So I'm going to pass that on. And he says he's very proud that his parents chose not to go to the debacle in the courtroom and even Kaylee is very upset. She says, I appreciate my family's devotion to me, but I found it very upsetting. And I think Ethan did too. And he says, I'm very glad my parents didn't attend. There's no point in, they both feel there's no point in spilling your hatred for this man. We all know that. Why take yourself down to that limit? And he says, although some people wish he had gotten the death penalty, it is what it is. It's God's will, is what Ethan says. So I will leave you with that. If I get messages from the other two, Xana and Maddie, I will let you know. Thanks so much for allowing me to do this for you. Thank you. Good night. Oh.